All right, so like I said, we're going to talk about insurance again in terms of probability. We found out how to calculate expected payouts and then how that correlated with expected profit and so on and so forth. So we're going to look at the idea of health insurance here. All right. Now, when you deal with health insurance, all right, insurance company can't charge you differently based on your conditions. All right. So in life insurance, an insurance company can actually deny you to get life insurance coverage. And my dad, who's 60 years old, and myself can be charged different amounts. All right. So if it was a life insurance, okay, let me put some, I'll do life insurance. Life insurance, I might have an expected payout of, let's say, $680. And my dad may have an expected payout of $2,500. Now in life insurance, the insurance company is going to charge me slightly over $680 for my life insurance. My dad's life insurance, well, they're going to charge him slightly over $2,500 for his. If we go into health insurance, all right, even though my health insurance, let's say my expected payout is $680 and my dad's is $2,500. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to pretend. Now, by the way, this adds to $3,180. $3,180. What they're going to do is they're going to split that in half. Well, there's two people here, so they're going to split that in half. And they're going to charge us the same rate for it. All right, so they're going to charge us both $1,590. Well, slightly over that if the payout is if the payouts are $680 and $2,500. They're going to charge me slightly over that, so they make a profit. Okay. So in life insurance, you're charged, differently based on your conditions. Health insurance, everybody's basically put on the same plan. Now, I want to be really careful when I say that, because when I say everybody's put on the same plan, I don't mean all health insurance plans are the same. Some are different than others. Okay? But what I was saying is, if there's a healthcare plan and my dad and I are on it, and we're the only two people in the world that are on it, then that health insurance plan is going to charge me this amount and my dad this amount, $1,590, well, slightly above that, based on it. Okay? Now, there may be some other healthcare plan over in the woodworks where two other people, let's say my sister and my mom, are on different plans, and they might be charged, they might both be charged $2,000 a piece. Okay? But if you're on the same plan, then you're going to be charged the same. That's my point. Not that all plans are the same, just that, if you're on the same plan, you're charged the same. By the way, this happens a lot where, you'll see one healthcare plan might have a smaller rate than another healthcare plan. All right? And a lot of it has to do with the items that they cover, which of these healthcare plans, covered Viagra for men or birth control for women, or all these extra sort of add-ons. I think Viagra is guaranteed now, so is birth control. But there's a lot of add-ons that you can cover or not cover based on health coverage plans, and also it matters on the demographics. Okay, so my dad and I are both males. Mom and sister are both females. Turns out females tend to go to the doctor's office more often. Okay, so if you're on a plan and more females are on that plan, then you might have a higher premium. If you're on a plan and there's more males on it, then maybe you're charged a lower premium. Okay, but again, the balancing there is not intended to harm anybody. It's just you're all going to have to pay the same rates. All right. By the way, health insurance company has to charge, if they're on the same plan, they have to charge men and women the same thing, right? So that's just the way it works. All right, so let's do some examples and some real calculating here. All right. So we're going to say there's 10 people on a plan in the same pool. And when you average out, they all have each one has expected payments of $1,200 for the year. All right, that's the health insurance. They've calculated out expected payouts $1,200. Now, these people are fairly healthy. Again, by the way, I'm making up these numbers. I hope we all know that. So let's say these people are pretty healthy. Now, let's add a person who's not healthy. Let's say his or her expected payout is $3,000 per year. All right. So if you add another person and their expected payout is higher, what do you think is going to happen if we add up all of these 11 people and put them into the same pool? Well, here's how it has to work. The 10 people have expected payouts. So we have 10 people, expected payouts of $1,200. Now, that comes out that the total amount the insurance company is expecting for those 10 people is $12,000. Add another person that they expect to pay $3,000 for. So that means there's $15,000 total that the insurance company expects to pay out. Now, there's 11 people in this group. So all we have to do is divide that evenly by 11 people. So now the expected payout divided evenly is $1,363 and about 64 cents per person. All right. Now I want you to notice this. Again, we added an unhealthy person, so the expected payout went up and everybody had to pay more. All right. And that's what happens is if more unhealthy people get on the rolls, then the premiums are going to go up. All right, or the payouts, which translates into the premiums, are going to go up. All right. So let's instead of having 10 people, instead of adding a healthy person, let's add a healthy person instead of adding an unhealthy person. So I want you to calculate what's the collective expected payout for the group of 11 people here. So what each individual would have to pay in this scenario. Push pause and then do the problem. All right, so hopefully you've figured this out. 10 people have expected payouts of $1,500. That's a total of $15,000 that the insurance company pays. One person has a payout of $1,000. So that is $16,000 in total payouts. And that means the expected payout for each individual since we have to divide it evenly, will be $1,454 and about 55 cents. All right. So each person in this case would have to pay $1,454.55. So if you add on healthy people, then premiums are generally speaking going to go down. Again, going down for the people who had to pay originally. All right. Now there's two issues that this brings up. One is a morality issue. Is it okay to charge this one healthy person? I mean, that one healthy person is going to have to pay this much. And he's sort of, or he or she, is subsidizing these 10 people who aren't as healthy. All right? So is that okay to do? Is it okay to charge this person more? Or should we have charged each of these people $1,500 and each of these people $1,000? Okay, I'm not saying legally. Legally, you have to charge this much for each person. All right, I'm saying morally. Morally, is it okay to do that to this healthy person? Or on the other example, is it okay that the 10 healthy people had to pay more because of the one unhealthy person? All right, and I'm making very general statements about healthy and unhealthy here, but expected values of payouts don't necessarily translate into health that well. But there we go. So that's one issue, and the other issue is this is really knowing this let you understand some of the goings on politically. Recently, what was it? In 2010, I believe, the Affordable Health Care Act, which is commonly referred to as Obamacare, passed. And this was a lot of the premise behind Obamacare, and a lot of both the criticism and the people who were for and the people who were against it. What they were talking about is essentially these types of things. That if you force insurance companies to add healthy people, then the insurance companies will be able to lower their cost. If you force insurance companies to add unhealthy people, then the costs are going to go up. And there's a balancing act about how much the cost goes up if you add a really unhealthy person versus a healthy person, if it goes down, and so on and so forth. Okay? But this is sort of the premise. These are the foundational calculations behind what's going on, both, again, if you're for or against Obamacare. All right? By the way, the same thing works for procedures. So if you have 20 people in a pool and they have an expected payout, each person of $1,800, and then along comes this new medical procedure that the insurance company has to pay for. All right, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. 2 people are going to take advantage of that. And 2 out of these 20 people are going to spend an extra $250 a year. Well, if these 2 people are going to take advantage of it, what's going to happen to the expected payout? Well, we can do this. All right. So 20 people at $1,800. That was a total cost of $36,000 to the insurance company. Now, this extra procedure will cost an additional $500. Now, I got $500 because there's 2 people that are going to take advantage of it. Okay, if there's more people that took advantage of it, then we'd increase that amount. So now the insurance company is going to have to pay $36,500. Now there's still 20 people, right? So still this is going to be out of 20 people. So divide by 20. And now the expected payout for each person, divided evenly, is $1,825. All right? So again, if you cover more procedures, then your payouts, the insurance company's payouts, which translates into your premiums, the amount you have to pay, is going to go up. All right? There's really no way of getting around that. So when people say that, their insurance covered something and that's a great thing because it's free now, well, it wasn't really free. Just everybody had to pay a little bit more in terms of premiums. All right? And there's a lot of these things that are procedures and medications that the government has required insurance companies to cover. Okay, some of those have been controversial, others have been pretty straightforward. But anytime the government requires an insurance company to cover something that your insurance doesn't already cover, well, your premiums are going to go up. All right, that's just the fact of the matter. All right. So, so when people say things are free because their insurance company, they're actually not free. Premiums are going up. You're paying for it, just in not over the counter. And again, it sort of brings up some moral issues about, okay, should if I was one of the 18 people who didn't take advantage of this procedure, should I have to pay more for this procedure? All right, should my payments go up because because everybody that procedure was made available for everybody, which 2 people took advantage of. All right, and that's kind of a moral question that you can answer, and it probably depends on the procedure itself. All right, most of us would say, yes, insurance companies should cover things like broken legs or getting cancer. But there's other procedures or medications that might be controversial, right? Almost everybody says a medication for, heart medication should be covered. But should Viagra be forced to be covered? Should birth control be forced to be covered? Okay? And those things get a little bit trickier, and I guess it depends on what side of what issue you're on, and maybe depends on your individual situation whether you want that procedure to be covered or not. All right. So anyway, that's the basics of how this sort of pooled health insurance programs work.